Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this 1-hour yoga practice designed to alleviate any sort of pain, stress, or stiffness in your physical body and your mental state. Let's bring ourselves back to homeostasis, where we can heal the body, mind, and soul. I'm going to be using my hourglass because I am not good with time. So let's get started at the back of our mat in child's pose. Now, I want you to make a promise to yourself, bringing your fingertips to the top of the mat, let your chest melt down. Now, this promise to yourself is that you're going to actually do this whole practice from beginning to end. I realize how difficult it can be and how distracting it can be when you are practicing at home. Trust me, I did it for years. And there would be a notification or something I saw that I had to clean or whatever it is. There's tons of distractions, and I really want you to focus and from start to finish, just take this 1 hour just for you. So let's start with our breath. Deep breath in and out, closing your eyes, reaching your fingertips. Feel the stretch in the shoulders. Let your chest be heavy. Good, and then slowly rolling into your tabletop position. Go and just do a couple cat-cat. We're just going to be moving slowly and mindfully, making this feel good on the body. And then tucking the chin in, curving the spine. Maybe rocking back just a little bit. Drop the belly again, look up. And then curving the spine, chin to chest. And back to neutral. Extending the right leg out, toes pointed down, start to engage the core, and then slowly reach your left arm over your head. Lift a little higher, and then lower the hand, lower the knee. Left leg goes out, toes pointed down, hold, and then right arm goes up over the head, palm facing in, hold. Place the hand down, drop the knee, come onto your toes, bring your arms back, elbows back, open up your chest. Take a deep breath in, cactus arms, feeling this nice stretch on our feet as well. Bring your arms up to the ceiling, give yourself a little reach. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, reach for the top of the mat, melt into your puppy pose. Just for a moment, and then bending the elbows, bringing your hands to prayer behind your head. Take one deep breath in and out. Release your hands down, come back into your tabletop position and into your plank, holding your high plank. Walk out your high plank as we stretch our hamstrings nice and slow. A little bend in the elbows, make this soft. And then lifting your hips really slowly and controlled. We're coming up to our first downward facing dog. Have your feet hip width apart. Take 3 long breaths here. We have our fingertips pointed towards the top of the mat. A little bend in the elbows. Let your heels be heavy. Add movement if it feels good. Maybe hips go side to side. Let your head dangle a bit. One more deep breath in. Good. Bring your toes a little bit closer together at the back of the mat and just roll into your high plank position. Hold your high plank just for a moment, squeeze in the belly, and then lift your hips high again into your downward dog. A couple more times, flowing it out. Make this soft. Hips down and lift. And now we're going to make ourselves all the way down to the mat. So slowly, slowly, controlled. You can do a little bend in the elbows, lower your knees, hips, float yourself all the way down. Let's go into a cobra, just lifting up gently and lower and lift and lower. Take your left ear and place it onto the mat. Bring your arms out into cactus and just take a minute to relax because this can be a really nice stretch on the neck. Take 2 breaths. Good. And then bring your head to center, looking over towards the other side. And picking up your feet, bending your knees, and just windshield wiper your feet from side to side. Rolling the hips. Good. Right into a quad stretch. So you're picking up your shoulders off the mat just a little bit. Reach behind, grab onto the top of your feet. And you can even relax your chin down on the mat if you want to. Try to bring your knees together, pulling your heels in towards your glutes. Also pushing your hips down in towards the mat. Good, and then slowly release. Come up into an upward facing dog just for a moment, starting slowly. Release your toes. Take a deep breath in. And then dropping the knees, come into your tabletop. Knees go out to the outer edge of the mat. Sit in a wide-legged child's pose now. So opening up the hips a little bit more. Reach your fingertips forward. 2 nice breaths. Good, and then slowly make your way up into a side stretch, bringing one arm over your head, reaching over towards the side. And then coming up to center, you could bring both arms up, look up, and then dropping the opposite arm down, reaching over to the other side. Good, coming back to center, bring your knees a little bit closer together, coming up into a beginner camel. So we're just gonna push our hips forward, taking your hands, placing them on your lower back. Your fingertips can be up or down. Pushing your hips forward, open up the shoulders. Good. And then placing your hands down once more, come up into your downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Feeling the hamstrings loosen. And then bend your knees, walk your hands towards your feet. Have your knees bent nice and generously. And then grabbing onto your elbows, sway from side to side as you slowly start to straighten your knees. Drop your head down. Making this feel good for you. And placing your hands down onto the mat or blocks. And then bending the knees, rise to stand. We're gonna reach up, big inhale. Hands to heart center. Take a pause in your mountain pose. Being mindful of your breath. Also letting all the blood flow all the way back down. Good, bring your arms back up for a stretch, maybe a little back bend. Swan dive all the way down. And then walking your fingers and your hands to the top of the mat, come into your high plank position, walk out your high plank, and then dropping your knees. We're gonna go knees, chest, chin, and then pushing yourself up to your upward facing dog. Take a breath in, peeking over your left shoulder and center, and then peeking over your right shoulder and center. Good. Come back onto your knees and find yourself in Baddha Konasana, or bring yourself into Baddha Konasana. Open up the hips a little bit more before we get into any other warrior pose. Super important. So heels, toes together, sitting up nice and tall, maybe a little fluttering of the knees. Take a breath in. Let's do a little bit of head movement too, dropping your chin down, side to side. Good. Maybe closing your eyes whenever it feels good. You can just close your eyes, being mindful of your body, go in with your breath. Good. And then crossing your legs, reaching your fingertips up. Another side stretch, bringing your left arm over. Reach, reach, reach this time. Making sure both hips are on the mat. And then bringing your arms forward, both hands forward, reaching towards the right side. And let your body melt over the right leg. Feeling this nice stretch in the hips. Good, and then coming back to the side, open up the chest. And then all the way up, over onto the other side. Now right arm goes up over the head. You could always start just by opening up the chest by bringing your arm up and then reach over towards the side wall. Good, and then you can round the shoulder a little bit, feeling the stretch in the lower back. And then reaching your fingertips towards the left side of your mat. Maybe melting your body down as well over your left thigh. Good, slowly coming up. Extending your right leg out to the corner of your mat, keeping your left leg bent and reaching for your right foot. So wherever you're at, maybe you're grabbing onto your shin. I like to grab the outside of my foot, so I'm getting a little bit of a twist, as well as a hamstring stretch. Lower your head down. Good, and then slowly come up onto the bent knee, bring the right arm over your head, pushing your hips forward. And then lower the hand down and switching sides. Get nice and comfortable. And then reaching over towards the left foot. Should be feeling this in your lower back as well, your left hamstrings. Good, and then slowly make your way up. You're coming onto that knee, swinging your left arm over your head, pushing your hips up forward. And then slowly making your way down. Good. Come back in to a kneeling position. Flip your toes, downward facing dog. Bringing your right leg all the way up, three-legged dog, and hold. And then lowering the right foot, bringing the left foot up, three-legged dog. Take a breath. And lower. One more time. We're going to open the hips this time. So right leg goes up, three-legged dog, bending the right knee, and then lifting the right knee up to the ceiling, squeezing the right glute, letting both heels be heavy. Take a breath. And then lowering the right foot down, left leg goes up, three-legged dog, bending the left knee, open up the hip. Extend the left leg, let the left foot fall, come back into your downward facing dog. Rolling the body forward into your high plank position. Knees, chest, chin, lower down. Upward dog. Inhale. To downward facing dog. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Bending your knee, bending your elbows slightly. Letting your heels be heavy. And then lifting your heels and lower. Lift your heels, squeeze your belly, and then push your heels in towards the mat. One last time. Lifting your heels up and then pushing your fingertips forward. Let your heels be heavy. And now we're gonna come to the top of the mat by lifting our heels, bend the knees, do a little jump or a hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, come to a flat back. Take a breath. And then lower all the way down into your forward fold. And then bend the knees, rise to stand nice and slowly. Bring your arms all the way up. And then lower your hands to heart center. Roll your shoulders, take a second in your mountain pose, Tadasana. Good, bringing your hands to your waist, picking up your right foot, step it back, warrior one. Bring your arms up, and then floating your arms all the way down, bringing your chest forward, slow and controlled. Feel the strength of your lower body. Reach up and lower and up and lower. Good. And bring your arms up and hold. Relax your shoulders, bending the front knee a little bit more. Reach up. Then lower your hands down slowly. Bring your back foot to meet your front at the top of the mat. Come into chair. And then extending your arms all the way up. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your legs, and come up onto your tippy toes. So coming up onto your toes, let's look straight ahead. Open up the chest. And then lower your hands to prayer. Float yourself all the way down into your forward fold. Let your head be heavy. Keep going. I know there might be something around this time where you're like, I gotta do this. Stick through this practice. It will be worth it. Bend the knees, rise to stand, reach up. Bring your hands down to your waist, pick up your left foot, step it back, warrior one, and hold. Pivot that foot to the outside so you have the balance. Bending the front knee, and then bringing your arms all the way up, warrior one. Sink low, shoulders down and hold. And then floating the arms down, bring your body forward over the right leg and lift. Really tightening and engaging your lower body, your glutes. Lift up. You always see those yogis and they have this fantastic body and tight legs and you're like, how is that possible? Well, it's holding these poses. It's squeezing and moving intentionally and slowly, lifting up. Good, lower your hands down and bring your back leg to meet your front. Come into your chair once more, hold. Your arms into cactus. And then float your hands all the way down, come into your forward fold. Halfway lift. And then forward fold once more. Step back into your high plank position. Hold. Lower onto your knees. Go onto your chest. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And out. Picking up your left foot this time, three-legged dog. Bending the left knee. Step it through your hands, come into your low lunge. Dropping the back knee, release the toe. And you can have your hands down or on the mat or on blocks. Chest forward. And then flipping the back toe, place your hands down onto the mat. Come up into your runner's lunge. So we're just straightening the back knee. Place your right hand on the mat. Bring the left arm up for a twist. Take a breath in, really twisting at the waist here. Look up, smile. Lowering the left hand down, sink back down into your runner's lunge. And then taking your back foot, rock it forward, come into your low lunge or your forward fold. Coming into your runner's lunge and then bringing your foot forward for your forward fold at the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Lower down. Bending the knees, step back into your high plank position. Let's try a chaturanga now, lowering down to your upward dog, to downward facing dog. Good. Take a little pause here, a little break. You could always go into child's pose as well. Then right leg goes up, three-legged dog. Bending the right knee and then stepping it through for your low lunge. Bringing your chest forward. Hands are on blocks or on the mat. Placing both hands down, picking up the back toe, straightening the back leg into your runner's lunge, bringing the right arm all the way up for a twist. Lowering the right hand down, maybe doing a little rock before you bring both feet to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, forward fold. Bend the knees, rise to stand, reach up. Hands to heart center, take a minute in your mountain. Take a breath. Little quad stretch here. Grab onto the outside of your right foot. Bring your knees parallel, pushing your hips forward, and try to bring your right ankle in towards your glute. Lift up. And then slowly release, switching sides, bringing the right arm forward or to the side for balance. Grabbing up, grabbing your left foot this time, pulling it in. And then slowly lower down. Good. Bend the knees, rise up, reach. Lower your hands all the way down. Lift up once more. Let's get the heart going a little bit more. Dropping your hands down, picking your left leg up. Hold it just for a little bit of balance. And then a big step back, nice and slow and controlled, into your crescent lunge. Bringing your arms all the way up. Bending the front knee. Back leg is straight. We're up on our back toes. And then open up, warrior two. This should be an easier transition. Relax. Bend a little bit deeper in the front knee. Straighten the front leg, drop the back hand, reverse triangle. And then coming back into your warrior two, flipping both palms, reach up, look up, take a deep breath in. Lower down warrior two, and then bringing both feet to the top of the mat once more. Bend the knees, rise to stand, reach up. Swan dive all the way down. Halfway lift. Forward fold. And then bend the knees, rise to stand. We're going to pick up the right foot this time. So nice and slow, get your balance, lifting your right knee up. And then a big step back, slow and controlled, coming into our crescent lunge. Right foot forward, lift. Back leg is straight. Holding this powerful pose. And then open up warrior two. Bending the front knee, make sure that knee is out. Relax. Bend a little deeper. And then we're going to extend the front leg, drop the back hand, reverse triangle. Coming back into our warrior two. Flipping both palms, reach up, look up, take a deep breath in. Lower down warrior two. Let's do that one more time, flipping both palms, reach up, look up. Warrior two, bringing the back foot to meet the front, top of the mat, and then lower down into your forward fold. Walk out your forward fold. Let's get this to be a nice deeper stretch here. Bending at the hip creases. Taking your peace fingers, grabbing onto your big toe, pulling your body in. Good, placing your hands down on towards the mat. Picking up our right leg, we're gonna bend it, and then we're just going to lift our knee up. And then we're gonna see if we can grab the top of our right foot. And then lifting up, really lift up the knee, kicking back with the right foot. Opening up the chest. And then lower down. Let's switch sides. So now we're bending the left knee, picking up, reaching the left knee up towards the ceiling first, and then get your balance, grabbing onto the top of your left foot, lifting up, opening up the chest, the hips, kicking back slowly. Good, and then lower back down into your forward fold, placing your hands down onto the mat, step back into your high plank position, hold your high plank. Chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin, upward dog, to downward facing dog. Let your heels be heavy in this downward dog. Be intentional by pushing your hands in towards the mat. Little bend in the elbows. Hips are high. Melt your chest down towards the mat. And take 2 long breaths here. It's a nice little recovery. Good, and then dropping your knees, come into your child's pose. Release your toes, stretching your fingertips to the top, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, and then reaching both hands over towards the right side for a side stretch. Bring your hands to center, and then bring them over towards the left side. Bring your hands back to center, and we're going to just place our head onto the mat, a little bit of an inversion. Let's go into our rabbit pose. This can feel really good on our shoulders. So grabbing on to your ankles and then pulling your hips forward. You're grabbing onto your heels. Sorry, I said ankles, but if you can reach your heels, that's what you want to do. And then separating the shoulder blades. Good, and then sit back down. Bring your arms out, take a deep breath in. We're gonna go into a headstand. Many variations. If you wanted to start with the traditional one, you're gonna bring your arms to cross, bring them out. You're going to do a bind. Now don't do this if you're not familiar with it, or you could just even just practice coming up slowly onto your toes, and then slowly you'll make your way up. Or you can do a tripod, so you're bringing your hands down and just using the support of your hands. Now, if you're not there yet, you could always just start by bringing your knees up towards onto your elbows. Just practice that. And then if you feel like you got it, you want to try extending your legs up. Good. You can always pause the video if you want to play with your headstand a little bit more. It's a nice little break. Bring your arms all the way up. Grab on to your hands. Do a little bit of movement with your wrists, because that can be intense. Good. Coming up onto your knees, stepping your left foot forward, come into your low lunge. Place your right hand down on the mat, and then trying to pick up the back of your right foot. Hold. Whenever it's like an intense stretch like that you would see in pigeon, you're gonna wanna just take those deep breaths in and out, because your body is like, what are you doing? And you're trying to calm it down. You're like, it's okay, I got this, I'm just stretching. So deep breath in and out. Good, and then slowly release. Come up onto your back toe, come into your runner's lunge. And then straighten the front leg, drop the back heel, melt your body forward. Bring the back foot parallel, come right into your triangle or triangle variation. Always pretending that you're in a toaster. You don't want to burn yourself on either side, so you're trying to stay nice and flat. Placing your hands down, bending the front knee, take the left foot, swing it back into your high plank position, holding your high plank. Take one breath, lifting your hips nice and high, downward facing dog. Good, drop the knees and hover just for a moment, gauging the core. So the knees are just hovering a couple inches off of your mat. Squeeze the belly button in, that's how you tighten. That's how you get abs. They're hard to get, I'm still working on them. I don't know if I'll ever get them. Doesn't matter. Drop your knees, release your toes, stepping the right foot forward into your low lunge, chest forward, and then reaching back, bringing the left foot in. Open up the chest here. You can even lean a little bit. You could come up onto the outer edge of your right foot as you pull your left foot in. And then slowly releasing the back foot. Come back up into your runner's lunge. And then straightening the front leg. Melting your body, lower the back heel, and then let your body relax over your right leg. Pivot the foot so the toe is more towards the side, and then come up into your triangle pose. Opening up the side body, It really doesn't matter how far you go down. You really want to just have an open chest. So don't curve yourself over thinking you need to go to the ground. Feel really nice side stretch. And then lower the arm down, come back into your runner's lunge, taking the right foot, swing it back, high plank position, come into a low plank, fingertips to the top, squeezing the belly. Let's do a couple dolphins. And when I say couple, I just mean two. So slowly lifting up your hips, lower back down, and lift. And then come all the way down. Come into your Sphinx pose. So we're pulling in the belly here, lifting ourselves forward, shoulders away from our ears. Pushing your hips in towards the mat. Good, bring your hands a little bit closer. We're gonna bend our knees and we're gonna lift ourselves up and we're gonna do a nice little stretch. And then sitting back into your wide-legged child's pose. We're gonna do this a couple of times. So you're bringing your body forward, have your knees bent, and then let your hips fall. Try to get your head to touch your toes. And then sink your hips back once more. Exhale. One more stretch, bringing your hips all the way down. Then lower yourself all the way down, straighten your legs, come up to your upward facing dog, to downward facing dog. 3 long breaths, nice little recovery here. I hope you're still with me. I hope you didn't get distracted and turned off your phone. You could say you did an hour of yoga today. So if anything, you got a little bit of bragging rights if you can hold through. Lift your heels, bend your knees, jump, hop, or step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, forward fold, bend the knees, rise to stand, reach up. Your hands to heart center. Exhale. Good. Take a moment here. These little pauses, these little breaks. Coming in with your body, how do you feel? Do you feel warmer? Do you feel calm? Do you feel energized? Good. Place your hands by your side, rolling your shoulders back. Come to the top of the mat if you're not already there. Lifting your left leg all the way up. Hold. And then slow and controlled, step it back, warrior 1. Open up warrior 2 to our extended side angle, elbow to knee, reach up. Bending the front knee, really opening up the hips here. Coming back up into your warrior 2, flipping both palms, reach up, look up. And then pivot the foot forward and float down into your wide-legged forward fold. Swaying from side to side here. Nice and slow. So we're bending our left knee, bending our right knee, and then swaying our upper body from side to side. Come up onto your fingertips, hold. Pivot the feet just a little bit, slowly rolling yourself all the way back up. And then coming into your warrior 2, so we're pivoting the foot, our front foot to the top of the mat, warrior 2 on the other side, hold. Sink deep. Keep your gaze over that front hand. And then dropping your elbow to your knee, bring your arm all the way up. And if this feels good to have your arm up, then you could reach over towards the side. Slowly coming back up into your warrior two, bend the knee, flip the palms, reach up, look up. Lower your hands down, come back into your wide-legged forward fold, really bending the knees this time. Let your feet go as far as they possibly can, maybe relaxing your elbows on towards the mat. Maybe little bounces or a hold if you have a nice intense stretch here. Good, and then coming up onto your fingertips, we're gonna heel toe our feet about a little bit wider than our shoulder width shoulders, and then we're gonna pivot both feet over to one side. So I have my left foot forward, coming into your pyramid pose. Try to have a flat back. If you need blocks, use them. They're fantastic. Making sure your hip too isn't opening up too much. You wanna bring your right hip forward. Let your head be heavy. Let your body melt. Feeling this nice hamstring stretch. Good, and then slowly bringing your hands back to center. You could pivot your feet and then bring it to the other side. Now we have our right foot forward, and then dropping your body over towards that right leg. Again, we want our hips square. Nice hamstring stretch here. Good, picking up the back foot, we're coming to the top of the mat. Bending the knees, rise to stand, reach up, hands to prayer, exhale, flow it out. Bring your arms all the way up, swan dive all the way down. Picking up the right foot, coming into your low lunge, chest forward. Rock yourself forward, bring both feet to the top of the mat, halfway rise. Forward fold. Left leg steps back, low lunge. Chest forward. Rock it back, bringing both feet to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold, step hop or jump, high plank position. Knees or toes, chaturanga down. Upward dog to downward facing dog. Picking up the right foot, three-legged dog, bend the right knee, open up the hip, and do two big circles here, really dropping your knee down. Accentuate this, exaggerate this. Nice big hip opening here. Also working on core. Lower the right foot down. Same thing for the left, bringing the left leg up, three-legged dog, then bending the left knee. Bring the knee in almost to your elbow, side, around. Biggest, most exaggerated circle as you can. Good. Lower down. Come into your high plank position. Drop your knees. And everybody take a moment in their child's pose. If you want to take a drink of water, now is the time. We are going to make our way to our mat for some wonderful stretches. Good. Bring your fingertips to the top. Go into one more puppy pose. And then rolling the spine, come into your tabletop position, cat-cow, dropping the belly, look up. And then tucking the chin in. Bring your spine back to neutral. Peek over your right shoulder and let your hips go over towards the left side. And then switching sides. So shifting your hips over towards the right and looking over your left shoulder. Good, we're coming into our pigeon pose. So if you want to just bring your knee to your wrist, you can. If not, the traditional and fun way, in my opinion, is to bring your right leg all the way up, three-legged dog, bend the right knee, and then bringing your right knee just behind your right wrist. Let yourself float all the way down. Release the toe, keeping your hips centered, and then lower all the way down. Taking those nice, slow, and controlled breaths. You can also be mindful of your heart. How does your heart feel right now? Is it maybe beating a little bit quicker? You could control your breath a little bit more. Really straightening that back leg. Pointing that toe. Make sure you're not falling on towards that right hip, that you're right up centered. And then slowly, we're gonna walk our hands up and bring your hands forward and push yourself back. Really pushing your hips down and towards the mat. Good. And now you can go over on towards that hip, pick up the straight leg and wrap it all the way around over your knee, sitting up nice and tall. Hug the left knee in towards your chest and look over for a twist. Look over your left shoulder. Always lifting up through the crown of your spine. Ooh, feels like such a nice stretch on the hips. So needed. And release. You can come into your tabletop position, flip your toes, downward facing dog. And then left leg goes up, three-legged dog. Bending the left knee. Bring the left knee just behind your left wrist. And then sinking down deep, bringing yourself forward. It's very easy for, I know myself as an instructor, that I can get into like a Zen relaxation mindset as I'm trying to teach, which isn't always good because I have to be instructing and teaching and always on the ball. But I just find yoga to be such a nice, relaxing practice. And it's really enjoyable when I'm doing it on my own, where I can just have somebody else do the class, where I can just come into my own body and my mind. And it's so peaceful and beautiful when you can get to that place. The benefits of yoga are so good for the mind and the mindset. Now bringing your hands all the way forward and then lifting up, lifting up. That's why I share this with you. I want everybody to know the amazing benefits of yoga and how they can help every aspect of their life. Take that extended leg, wrap it all the way around. Take your ankle over your knee, sitting up nice and tall, grabbing on to your left knee, hugging it in, and then turning around for a twist. Good. And release. Let's bring both of our heels out to the outer edge of our mat. Just a quick little seated forward fold, wide-legged, lifting up. And you can just rock yourself forward. We really want to tilt like the pelvis. We don't want to roll ourselves. So to be mindful of that, you can bring both hands behind your hips or your lower back. And then just bring your chest forward. And just hold. Let's go in for a little final side stretch before we make our way down to the mat, bending over towards the left side. And then bending over towards the right side. And then back up to center. Take your hands, put it behind your knees, get them to come together. Do a little windshield wiper side to side. Letting knees fall. And then have your feet find the back of the mat, lifting up, and ooh, the best pose ever, lying down. So lower down one vertebra at a time. Give yourself a little bit of a stretch head to toe. And then bending your knees, have your heels and feet touch together in your Supta Baddha Konasana. And then placing your hand on your belly and on your heart, letting your hips feel this nice hip opening stretch. Maybe taking a couple seconds to close your eyes as well. Good, and then extending your right leg out, bending your right knee in towards your chest. Flexing both feet. Good, and then slowly extending the left leg, pulling your foot over your head. Make sure that that right leg stays grounded. And your shoulders stay on the mat as well. Good, and then bending the left knee. Keep it at a 90-degree angle. We'll go in for supine twist. So you're dropping the left knee over towards the right side. Let your arms float from either side. Maybe your gaze is looking over your left hand. And then bringing your knee back up to center. Have your body centered on the mat once more. Bringing your knees in towards the chest. Giving yourself a little bit of a squeeze. And then grabbing just below your right knee and letting your left leg fall all the way down. Flexing both feet. Relax your head. Pulling your right knee in towards your chest. Extending the right leg, so just grab on wherever you can. One side's always going to be a little bit more flexible than the other. And bending the left knee, keep it at about a 90-degree angle, and then bring it over towards the left side. Maybe looking over towards your right hand. And then slowly back up to center. Have your feet find the mat. We're going to push up into a bridge. So rolling your shoulders back, placing your hands down. You should just almost be able to touch your heels, lifting your hips high, trying to keep them nice and straight and parallel. Squeezing your glutes. And then put all of your weight over on towards your right foot and extend your left leg up. And just hold. Good, and then slowly bending the left knee. Lift your hips a little bit higher. And then straighten the left leg and lower down. Other side. Straightening the right leg. Toes are pointed towards the ceiling, lifting your hips. And then slowly bend the right knee, trying to bring it in a little bit. And extend and lower down. Lift your hips a little bit more, maybe separating your knees just a little bit, reaching your arms over your head. Take a breath in. And then taking your hands, putting them on your lower back. Now you're trying to lift yourself up. So you're taking your hands, putting them on your lower back. Bring your toes in a little bit more. And then you could bring your knees in. Bring your knees in towards your head. And then you could try to straighten both legs. Good, and then placing your hands on your lower back, come up into a shoulder stand. And then lower your knees once more. And then placing your hands down, lowering nice and slowly and controlled. And then slowly lower your legs all the way down to the mat. Giving yourself a nice little stretch once more. Good. Take your right hand, put it behind your head, and let your left arm extend out. We're going to lift our left leg up. Just reach to try to touch your left knee and squeeze it in. And then lower. So we're lowering the elbow, lowering the leg. Bring it up once more. Elbow to knee. And release. Elbow to knee. And release. Elbow to knee. And release. Last one. Elbow to knee. And release. Switching sides. So right arm goes out straight. Left arm goes behind the head. Lifting the right leg straight. Trying to touch your knee. And release. Lowering your elbow down. Relaxing your head. And lift. And lower. And lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. I know the bottom leg can sometimes pop up. And lower. One more time. Lift. And lower. Bringing both knees in. Another squeeze. And then pointing your toes up to the ceiling for waterfall. Bring your arms up as well. Pull your belly in. Have this really nice sensation of feeling your entire back being pressed really intensely on the mat. And then flexing your feet and doing a little bit of movement with your wrists. Maybe open and closing your hands could feel really nice. And then grabbing the outside of your feet for happy baby, pulling your knees down. Take a deep breath in and then maybe rocking from side to side. This can feel really good on the back. Maybe you want to try extending your legs. Even you could do one leg, then the other. Good, bringing your knees in once more. We're going to go into one more twist. Place your palms facing up. Take your left leg, cross it over your right leg, and then let both knees fall over towards the right side. Bring your arms out in cactus and look over towards your left hand or left arm. Going to start to come into our breath a little bit more. Preparing for our final pose. If you stayed, you're awesome, because I look at the analytics and most people do not last very long. And I get it. Life is busy. But if you can do an hour a day or an hour, okay, let's be realistic. If you can do an hour a week, I mean, you're doing better than most people. So now it's time to reward yourself. Don't stop now. Take a deep breath in and out and close your eyes. And then slowly bringing your knees back up and switching sides. Making sure that your hips are square, and then bringing the right leg up and over and letting both knees fall over towards the left side. Arms in cactus, looking over towards your right shoulder. Bring your knees back up to center, giving yourself another head to toe stretch. Good. And then placing your arms to your side for a final pose or Shavasana. Bring your left arm over your head for a stretch, rolling over to one side, bending your knees into your fetal position. Just taking a moment and being mindful of your state right now, your mental state. And then to close our practice, we'll push ourselves up into a comfortable crisscross position where we give thanks and gratitude for this beautiful healing practice that is yoga. Take this beautiful positive energy and share it with all those that you love. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Namaste.